In a league obsessed with highlight reels, power dunks, and alpha dog energy, one man chose a different path. He didn't jump over 7-footers. He didn't flex after every bucket. He just changed the game. And still, after all the championships, the MVPs, and the records, he remains one of the most underrated, overlooked, and disrespected superstars in NBA history. This is the truth NBA media doesn't want to admit. Steph Curry's disrespect is worse than you think. Let's start where all debates begin, with the numbers. As of 2025, Steph Curry has over 23,000 career points, more than 4,500 assists, and an unbreakable all-time three-point record. With a gap so wide no one's catching him anytime soon. He averages 24.6 points per game for his career, and has seasons where he put up 30.1 while shooting 50-40-90 splits. That's not just elite. That's once-in-a-generation efficiency, and he's done it while being the primary focus of every defense he's ever faced. His gravity on the court is unmatched. The second he crosses half court, defenders stretch, schemes shift, and entire game plans revolve around his presence. But somehow, it's never enough. From the moment he entered the league in 2009, Steph Curry has had to fight for recognition. Drafted 7th overall. Not first, not second, because teams were unsure if he could handle the physicality of the league. Some scouts didn't even think he could run the point. There were real concerns that he was just a shooter, not athletic enough, not built for the NBA. But what he lacked in size, he made up for in something more dangerous, unshakable confidence. He came into the league with paper-thin ankles, almost got traded to Milwaukee for Andrew Bogut, and even watched as his own team hesitated to commit to him long-term. But he never flinched. He just kept shooting, kept grinding, kept proving people wrong. And when he finally took over in 2015, he didn't just win an MVP, he won it unanimously. The first, and still the only player in NBA history to be unanimously voted as the league's most valuable player. But that's not what ESPN talks about. Instead, we hear he had a stacked team, or he needed KD, or worse, he's just a shooter. Just a shooter? That shooter created the most dominant dynasty since the '90 Bulls. That shooter dragged defenses out to 35 feet and forced entire franchises to draft shooters who couldn't hold his warm-up towel. That shooter averaged 31 points in the 2022 NBA Finals, dropped 43 in a must-win game on the road in Boston, and walked away with the Finals MVP that haters said he needed. Yet still, Steph's name gets left out of the top 5 all-time debates. He's placed behind players with fewer rings, fewer MVPs, and far less impact. Let's compare. Kobe Bryant, 5 rings, 1 MVP, career field goal percentage of 44.7%. Magic Johnson, 3 MVPs, 5 rings, revolutionized the game as a 6-foot 9-point guard. Steph Curry, 2 MVPs, 1 unanimous, 4 rings, 1 Finals MVP, and arguably more impact on the modern game than any player since Jordan. And that's not a hot take, that's fact. Before Steph, teams averaged around 18 three-point attempts per game. Today, over 34 attempts per game league-wide. He didn't adapt to a trend, he created it. Before Steph, the idea of pulling up from 30 feet was considered bad basketball. Today, it's taught in AAU camps. Before Steph, point guards passed first, shot second. Now, if you can't score 25 and shoot off the dribble, you're not elite. He changed the definition of what a point guard is. He expanded the dimensions of the court. He forced NBA front offices to rethink their entire offensive philosophy. And yet, the media still hesitates. When LeBron wins, he's praised as a generational leader. When KD scores, he's called the most gifted offensive player ever. When Giannis dominates, he's hailed as the face of the league. When Steph dominates, it's the system, it's spacing, it's Clay and Draymond. Never mind that he is the system. Never mind that he made Clay and Draymond into Hall of Famers. Not the other way around. And let's talk about the 2016 Warriors. They went 73-9, the best regular season in NBA history. Steph averaged 30 points a game while barely playing in fourth quarters. He led the league in steals. He broke his own three-point record. He pulled up from the logo and buried teams before the second quarter. And when they lost in the finals, after Draymond was suspended and Bogut got injured, The narrative wasn't this team was exhausted or they nearly pulled off the impossible. The narrative was, see, Steph's not clutch. He lost one series after a 73-win season, and people used it as an excuse to erase everything he'd done to get there. Then came KD, and the disrespect deepened. Instead of acknowledging that Steph willingly stepped aside to allow another superstar to shine, something few MVPs in history have done, critics painted him as a sidekick. Even though he averaged more points than KD in the 2018 playoffs. Even though he led the team in assists, usage, and plus-minus. And when KD left in 2019 and the dynasty fell apart due to injuries, they said Steph couldn't carry a team. Fast forward to 2022. No KD, no Clay for half the season. A young, unproven roster. Steph wins his 4th ring, beats the best defense in the league, averages 31.2 in the finals, wins the MVP, shuts down every doubter. And how did the media respond? By ranking him behind Luka and Jokic on MVP ladders the next season. By debating whether he was still top 10. By asking if this was the end of the Warriors. Let's be real. If Steph looked like Kobe, or dunked like Ja, or posted triple-doubles like Russ, he'd be treated like basketball royalty. But because he smiles, dances, and plays with joy, they label him cute, lucky, system-dependent. That's not analysis, that's bias. And here's the wildest part, he's still going. In 2025, Steph Curry is still averaging over 26 points per game, still leading his team, still one of the most efficient scorers in the league at age 37. Still breaking records, still torching double teams. He's not done, not even close. So the next time someone says, Steph isn't top 5, or he needed KD, or he's just a shooter, don't argue. Ask them this. Who else has reshaped an entire sport without being the biggest, the strongest, or the loudest? Who else forced coaches from middle school to the NBA to rewrite their playbooks? Who else expanded the court, challenged the very concept of shot selection, and made 30-foot jumpers look like layups? Who else turned joy into dominance and humility into leadership, all while staying loyal to one franchise, building a dynasty, and never chasing headlines? Steph Curry didn't just change how the game is played. He changed what greatness looks like. He proved you don't have to scream to lead. You don't have to dunk to dominate. You don't have to be loud to be legendary. And while the world kept asking if he was good enough, he kept proving he was better than they ever imagined. Because when it's all said and done, Steph Curry won't just be remembered as the greatest shooter of all time. He'll be remembered as one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. A revolutionary, a dynasty builder, a silent assassin who redefined the limits of skill, vision, and impact. And maybe, just maybe, the only thing more impressive than his career is how long it took people to finally give him the credit he's always deserved.